All right, hi, hello. We did it. We're here. We're live. Thank you all. There's so many of you here. Thank you for coming to Better Than Heroes. This is our first stream for you all, our first Dungeons and Dragons session, and we're so happy to have you all. As you all you're probably not here without knowing this, but we're going to be playing an unofficial 5e Dungeons and Dragons campaign that's influenced by the second edition Spelljammer setting, which means magic in space. We're all very excited about it. So we're just going to roll through some announcements and introductions real quick. And then we're just going to jump right in and play some D&D for you all. So real quick, my name is Harlan Kelly. I'm going to be the Dungeon Master for this campaign. Who's up next? Somebody else introduce themselves. Oh no, you were muted. Do it again.
Oh God, off to a horrible start.
Andrew.
I was acting up in the pre-show and they muted me. My name is Andrew Ovredahl and I'll be playing Flute Whimteaser.
Awesome. Who's that?
Hi everybody, I'm Rachel Weeks and I will be playing Klik.
I am Jordan Dahl and I will be playing the Moonboy.
I'm Aaron, Urist, and I will be playing K.A.I, Hammerstein.
Cool. That's it. We'll get to know their character. You'll get more information about the characters as we go on. But first, we're going to do some announcements, and then we have a little intro for you, a little surprise cool thing we've got. So who wants to...
Are we allowed to watch it? Can we watch the stream, or is that how you get trapped?
You can watch the stream,
internet.
Just mute it so that everyone can hear us. Yeah. Andrew, do you want to roll off some announcements real quick?
Sure, yeah. We just set up a Patreon today, so if, as you're watching this, you get the itchy internet fingers, you could go over and check out our Patreon. It's at patreon.com/betterthanheroes. We've got all kinds of fun stuff planned for that, so check that out.
And make sure you follow us on social media. We are on Instagram at Better Than Heroes, and we are on Twitter at BTHDND.
Not as catchy, but it's there.
It's short. That's the problem. It's too long.
Yeah. You know who had Better Than Heroes was 40 ska bands already.
That makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah. Also, Better Than Heroes is 16 characters, and the Twitter username limit is 15 characters.
Great.
Oh, brutal.
I also, we want to give a huge thanks to our sponsor, Big Top Productions. The mastermind behind Big Top, Jim Hickox. Thank you so much.
Big Top Hickox.
Yeah, big reason we've been able to do this, so big thanks there. All right. Well, cool. Well, without any further ado, then, we're going to roll our little pre-show open, and then we're going to jump into playing some Dungeons and Dragons for you. So, enjoy.
It's happening. It's finally happening.
And we're back.
Yes.
Wasn't that cool?
How sweet was that?
So cool.
Sweet.
And she whipped it up in like mere minutes. It was crazy.
She's the best.
Just so quick.
It wasn't there, and then it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gave her no assets. It was like, here's a 2-dimensional ship, make a cool animated spacefaring intro.
And she did
That's wizardry. Wizardry.
The her that we're referring to is the video producer who made this video for us. Tigerman Productions.
Out of Denver.
Is the artist. Absolutely amazing out of Denver.
Thank you,
Emmys
K.A.I.
Thanks,
award.
K.A.I.
So good. Did you say Emmy award winning?
Yeah, she won
an Emmy for the intro to Better Than Heroes?
Yeah, dude.
You heard it here
already won an Emmy.
I mean, it's early, but they were like, you're a lock.
Yeah.
What
everyone
can we
please
say?
tweet that right now that this game is already won.
The Emmy went to a podcast this year. Everybody's having a hard time.
Yeah, it's rough. Things have changed for everyone.
Cool. Well, with that, the setting of that tone, I'm gonna catch you up with our heroes. So if you can just imagine a black, dark space, just nothing but blankness. And the first thing you see out of that is a haze of color, like bright paints being swirled together but never mixing, creating a rainbow of technicolor static. It's warm and energizing. The hues get brighter and brighter and swirl faster and faster until you realize it's surrounding you and that you are speeding up. You're hurtling through an ocean of color, swirling around and around at an intense speed, and suddenly you seem to burst into a serene, all-encompassing darkness, still, silent, and calm. And at least it seems that way at first, until you see a bit of twinkle off in the distance, and then you begin to notice that all around you. Far off glows, all different sizes. There are hazy clusters of purple and blue, some dots of glowing oranges and pink, and then you hear one word ring in your head: space. You know for a moment you are seeing a whole universe. You float for what you think is weeks, judging by your sleeps, as time is a bit difficult to measure when you're moving at a speed that can only be described as magic. And you're passing planets. You almost sense how strange and wild all of these new worlds are, but at the same time, it's a little bit familiar. You see asteroids with forests growing on them and planets that are so enormous they must contain entire civilizations, or at least all different types of life. And one day, you think you streak past a whole floating fortress of some sort. And right around the time when you've resigned yourself to spending the last of your days hurtling through this world, you suddenly feel a jolt as your pace is slowed. You find that your bubble has started to lazily orbit a bright yellow watercraft, some sort of sailing ship that seems to be also moving through this wild vacuum of empty space. You feel yourself pulled down to the deck of the ship, and you see a small figure in blue robes snoozing on the deck. You hover above him, and he looks familiar. And as you get a better look at his face, you gasp and realize it's you, and poof! Moonboy, you are awake. You barely remember this dream you had as you wake on the deck of the golden yellow sailing ship called the Dinner that you now call home. The ship curls through the vast vacuum of space between planets known as wild space. You remember you're on a ship. It's being powered by a magical helm that it can use to fly through space, and it's a very normal day for you. Goliathan is a dwarf captain who took you aboard the ship, and he and his crew run this humble vessel, transporting goods, sometimes picking up passengers, keeping an eye out for the most lucrative opportunities, which is salvaging a ship. But none of this interests you too much, as you are the Moonboy. You smile to yourself, stretch, and you feel well rested as you awake from your nap. So, Jordan, if you want to introduce what your character looks like, go for it.
What a freaky dream I was having. Or was the dream having me? I'm the Moonboy. I play the Moonboy. I am a smallish, gnomish creature. I commune with the stars, and I have a limited ability to see into the future, man. And I can cast spells, and that's kind of my job here on the ship, is to navigate us through the waters. I get the waters of time and space and reality.
And Klik, you kind of like see Moonboy wake up as you're kind of up in the large mast of the ship, and you see him kind of just like standing there and talking to himself a little bit, and you're like trying to listen in, and you can't quite hear him. And
I remember now. I'm the Moonboy.
If you want to introduce your character too, as you kind of are watching Moonboy mutter to himself, you can interact with that moment however you like.
Sure. From the crow's nest, I look down on Moonboy, a little irritated. He's been sleeping all day. I'm a 7-foot pink mantis woman, fighter. I carry about an 8-foot polearm called a Githka that has blades on both sides, and it's my job to manage the deck and the sails and go keep a lookout. And it bothers me that there's this little gnome who just gets to sleep all day.
This is my job. I'm out exploring possibilities.
Are you gonna do anything to him because he's annoying to you, or are you just gonna just be annoyed?
I will hop down from the crow's nest in 2 long I'll grab hold of the sail and slide my way down. Say, did you have a good nap?
Yeah, and it's beautiful almost as you are, you are a bug-like creature, and so as you're moving down, you're just like very dexterously navigating yourself through the ropes, and you just kind of boom, right down next to him.
If I'm honest, it was a pretty weird nap. Pretty weird dream. I feel like I went pretty deep this time, bug person.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna continue.
Yeah, right as you are kind of like deciding whether or not he's messing with you, you hear a bit of a crash as Aaron, your character, opens the door. Kai, you open the door, and you almost drop your plate of delicious things as Flute is moving a barrel past the door at the same time.
So my goodness.
If you two want to introduce your characters, go for it.
Sure. Flute is he's about 5'7", although if asked, he would probably say 6 foot. He's like kind of average in every respect, average weight. I'm wearing like an oversized sort of like captain's coat with the cuffed sleeves and the buckles. I have a scimitar and a dagger on my belt, and my hair is naturally strawberry blonde and like curls almost into like ringlets that I despise and can't flatten out or like tug flat, but I have this sort of like longish curly strawberry blonde hair. Contrary to the token, I don't have a black goatee. That was something I was trying with a bit of spirit gum, but it took too long to put on when I needed the effect. So there is no black goatee.
I worked so hard on the goatee.
But yeah,
hours it took me.
But Flute was moving a barrel from one side of the ship to the other for no reason other than to look busy.
Kai comes through the door carrying a tray of treats. Kai is a 6 foot or so tall mechanical construct with and it's sort of astonishingly human-looking face in terms of expressiveness. He's made of many different color metals covered in sort of fine filigree, and upon closer inspection, that filigree is very, very intricate, moving parts, like clockwork. Sort of clockwork meets nanotechnology. And he has a fine mustache upon his face, and hovering next to him is a mechanical hummingbird, and its tail is a key that fits in the Kai's chest. There's a space for a key that has a blue light shining out of it, the same blue light that shines out of his right eye, which is 2 small circles, and his left eye is a sort of monocle that's designed to be turned and has various different lenses in it for different applications. And he comes through the door as Flute barrels past him, and he goes, "Oh my goodness, look at you go."
Excuse me, some of us are working.
Yes, of course, please. Be my guest. Would you like to have a sandwich, or would you like to have it after you're done moving the barrel?
I'll stop pushing the barrel and wipe like kind of non-existent sweat from my head, and I'll come over and get a sandwich.
Oh yes, there you go.
Thank you.
Here you are. I'll walk over to the others. Moonboy, would you like something to eat?
Already eating them. I'm already eating them. By the time,
look at you, you are so fast.
By the time you have time to ask, I'm.
Oh, he is so fast. Klik.
Well, thank you, Kai.
Can I interest you in some meat sandwich?
What kind of space sandwiches are we talking about here?
I was gonna say it's
all different varieties.
All the space.
Yeah, I think I'm making sure I didn't get Klik's sandwich before I eat it. I'm definitely like checking out to make sure.
I pick the reddest sandwich, the one that's a little wet from something. Looks a little chewed upon. And I pinch it between one of my 3 fingers and slip it underneath a golden mask that I wear, sort of a Bane mask over my mandibles. It's a mask that Kai designed for me that translates Tohr-Kreen into common. So whenever you hear me speak, it's sort of a combination of a gnashing, clacking sound and a delightful Midwestern brogue that's coming out of a speaker on her chest.
It always sounds like she's eating hot dish under there.
She very well might be.
Yeah, and you all are used to this scene a little bit as K.A.I is, you switch through a lot of different duties throughout the ship, but one of them you do is you are the chef, you're the cook, and after you guys come out and there is some, chatter about sandwiches, you hear guys, leave me one, and coming out from below deck, kind of where you put cargo down through the ship, up pulls herself a huge Goliath woman who has on like almost overall shaped clothing, and she's just very strong and burly, and you would know this is Goat, another member of your ship who is the bosun. She kind of takes care of a lot of the more mechanical maintenance on the ship and just general upkeep. And but she's not a fighter, as you all are the hired party. That's most of your jobs. Even though you are the cook, you all are here to kind of venture off the ship when danger is about, or you need to go into any situation that is more risk taking. Because Goat and the other two members of the ship are very risk averse, and especially Goat because she is very intentionally, you would know this about her, she's very intentionally pacifistic, which is, a lot of Goliath cultures are known for being cultures of great strength and in competition and are great fighters, but she's just like very good at moving things around and taking care of the ship. So she comes over and she's like, "Oh man, you guys ate my favorite one again!" And she just scoops a handful of the sandwiches and throws them all in her mouth at one time. And she's like,
I will reach into my bag and pull out a very neatly wrapped sandwich with Goat's name written on it. I will hand it to her. Say, "Don't worry, I saw this coming.
she
Not
kinda,
on my watch."
She gets embarrassed that she was like about to shovel a handful of the had like just like crunched them together in her hand, and she puts them back down on the platter in like a messy ball. And
The Moonboy picks up the ball.
Flute will come over knowing that Goat is an avowed pacifist, but like this like hulking presence. Flute will come over and kind of dance around and like playfully like punch the air around her as if he thinks that is somehow imbuing him with like a sort of toughness, because he's like shadowboxing Goliath, who will never return the shadowboxing.
She's like, "Oh, I like your dance," and she just pats you on the head, like knowing what you're doing, but like shit talking you back in some way.
Yeah. I do not understand why you don't teach him a lesson. You are the biggest and strongest among us. Surely you should be the leader.
Yeah, I mean, is it the greatest lesson? Like, and then she kind of gets like she's like trying to think of something clever, and she doesn't quite do it. She's like, when he has to mop the deck, probably. I don't know. I don't want to punch him. It would make me feel bad.
It would make him feel worse.
I was going to say.
It would make me feel great.
Oh.
She's like, well, I don't know. I don't want to. She's like, what about this? And she like just picks him up and throws Flute. She just like grabs you and throws you up in the air.
Like a babe, like what you do with a toddler to make him squeal.
Yes,
I squeal. I give a pretty reliable squeal.
We are laughing now.
The wig kind of hovers a little bit and then lands back on your head askew.
Oh, I don't have my wig on.
No, yeah, it's just bouncing golden curls.
Yeah, just a bunch of
like a little Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
Like a big Shirley Temple.
They actually slow my descent a little bit once it gets up. Woo, a lot of surface area.
Oh my goodness! Oh, we are having a tremendous amount of
Like
fun.
does she catch me?
Oh yeah. She's so
okay, cool.
Like she's so careful with you too. Like,
Truly.
It is kind of like a baby where she's.
I'm pretty light. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's not throwing you in a risky height for her too. She's just like, keeping you in a nice range that gives you that drop in your stomach, but she's in full control.
Okay, put me down. Thank you.
And
Oh, what
do me. Do one for me.
And
I'm trying to keep
you
my
kind of-
sandwich down.
Yeah, as Moonboy, as you go over to her, there's just a quick like little scuttle behind one of the barrels, and it cutting in front of you is this small green creature in kind of form-fitting robes that you would immediately know is another crew member whose
Hello.
name is Cobble. She is a older kobold who's green and is technically the ship's navigator. Though she, you all would know she does have a lot of knowledge of kind of the trade routes that this ship needs to go on. But she's very threatened by Moonboy's ability to interact with the stars.
She can't talk to the stars, man.
So
When it comes right down to it, you can read a map, but if you can't talk to the stars,
She cuts in front of you and she's like, I am the only one who can be thrown next. And she goes, Goat, please. And she like puts her arms out and Goat puts her hand out and she just like steps onto her hand and Goat like throws her up. And you can tell they've done this before too, as she just kind of like puts her arms back and like leans back. And,
joylessly.
Yes. She's like, and yes. And yes, and yes, as like maneuvers.
Nothing like joyless scheduled acrobatics.
And she's kind of always like looking at Moonboy, and
Yeah.
And
That sucks. That was Moonboy's turn. It looks so fun. It looks like a great time. I feel like I missed out. Cosmic flippery.
She kind of does like a final move, where it's like a pirouette almost, and she comes back
cool.
down, and
That was
she
cool.
goes, "We've been practicing that for about 3 treks now," which you all would know is just like one side to the other of the long trip you do.
I thought it was hip. I'd prefer more of a extemporaneous situation, but yeah, cool.
I mean, with
Very good. Oh, very good.
no.
Well done.
And she kind of blushes. She's like, "Thank you, K.A.I. I saw you. I saw that you. Had goat sandwich especially packed, but did you happen to make another one for me?"
Oh, I'm afraid that I'm joking. Yes, of course. Here you are. One for now and one for later.
Cobble, you could have some of the bowl if you want.
Oh, is that some sort of
It's the bowl of sandwiches. Remember?
She kind of looks at you all and she's like, "Are you sure he's okay?"
Yeah, he's an innovator.
I take a pinch out of the side of the ball of sandwiches
Yes.
that looks the juiciest,
Yes, the bowl is good. It's all of the flavors.
and tuck it behind my mask.
That's some non-traditional combinations.
I'm happy to let you have the ball. I'm gonna go make. She's like, "I'm gonna go check our route," and she begins to like climb up to the
yes, the
top
maps
into
and
the crow's nest of the ship. She's kind of like
Right.
climbing up the ladder. And then you hear one
Climbing.
more voice kind of go, "K.A.I, you wouldn't want to forget me, would you? The one keeping you all safe right now." And from the kind of front of the ship, which you know has like a big ballista, it's like a large crossbow attached to the front of the ship, is a sleekly dressed halfling in leathers that you could tell used to be very expensive, but have been worn for a long time. He has very finely cut black hair, and you would know this is Relic, the weapons master of the ship. And he's like, "Sandwich for me? No, are we just not gonna do that?" Or
Yes, Relic, you will notice if you return to your post that in the pail at the base of your station there is a sandwich waiting for you. It was already delivered.
but
Cool.
why didn't you just give it to me now?
I don't know. I thought it was sort of a nice touch. But
You're a bit
I-
standoffish, dude.
If
Well,
you
I mean,
would
I just
prefer,
like to know. I don't
could-
like surprises. I like to know what's going on.
Oh, well, okay. I will go. I'll tell you what. I will go and retrieve the sandwich, and I will give it to you now.
No, Kai, don't worry about it. Just keep
No,
things straightforward
it's
with me.
my pleasure.
I'm
Yeah,
going up there anyway.
No.
You've made it a thing, and now it's a thing, and you just kind of have to sit in it.
He kind of brushes his hair back, and it's like it's not a thing. He's just like kind of mutters his going away. He's like, you guys do this all the time. You just make it a thing, and just not a thing. I'm the one watching your back. He says as he kind of like goes up there and gets into.
Yes, go on, eat your probably dangerous sandwich.
I'm sorry.
Somehow.
I think I offended him. I didn't mean to.
He's overcompensating.
Oh.
You made him a sandwich. How could anybody find fault? Kai, you're a very considerate person.
Thank you.
Yes.
Cool. And you all, you all are having a nice little lunch here, which is a bit of a rare occasion because a lot of the wild space around you is very dangerous. And you right now are kind of in a stream that you all are able to get to with your flying ship, where once it's kind of kicked up to a certain speed in just open space, it goes into like a warp drive mode where everything around you is just going very quickly. So you're just kind of in this like blur of mostly darkness, but with like colors kind of spattered in there.
Those long stars.
Yeah.
Those long stars from TV and movies.
Notoriously from screensavers, yes.
We're entering screen space.
Yeah. And you all, this is kind of nice for you because your job on the ship is to
tubes! Interconnecting tubes!
Yep, that's all this
They're
is.
blocking us!
Surprise, y'all. Spelljammer is just tubes.
It's in a screensaver.
Actually, that kind of works.
It will never hit the corner.
I was going to say it's just the ship bouncing from the corner of the screen.
It's the corner. Does you see it before us?
So this is like a comforting place of this like fast moving space because it just means there's nothing around you and you guys kind of don't have to do anything.
That's great. That would be nice to kind of just check out of time.
Right? I know. And you would know that your ship captain, Goliath and the dwarf, is currently doing what is known as spell jamming, which to get a ship to fly like this, it has to have a helm where you use magic to activate it. And he's very particular about not being bothered during this. Though he has given you all a sending stone that he can communicate with you when he needs you, but you all have never seen the helm. It's one of his major rules, is to not bother him, to not enter his quarters.
I don't like to be bothered when I'm spell jamming either. Don't come in here. Yeah.
Cool.
I like that Aaron went like this when you said spell jamming, which is almost impossible not to do. It's either this or like a saxophone or something.
Yeah. Keyboard, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
We'll each have our band roll by the end of this.
Kai, the chat is a little grumpy that you got bullied, even though you made everyone sandwiches. So
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind.
The
it's
dynamic.
True though. We all caught a lot of shit for just standing around eating a sandwich.
That's how Relic expresses himself. We have to allow him to be his own.
I think he's a dick.
Yeah.
You know what? I
think he's kind of cool.
A dick.
Yeah, Flute says like clearly sucking up too. Yeah.
You know
really good hair.
Yeah, Flute would murder someone to have Relic's hair. It just straight up stab someone to death to have Relic's natural, cool black hair cut so stylish.
You would never do such a thing for such a trifling reason.
You don't have any hair. You don't understand. I stroke my feathered antenna.
There's kind of apply some oil to it. Some weird unguents that you produce.
Did the antenna go mostly forward or mostly back?
Which ways?
Oh, any way they want.
They're active. Yeah. They're moving.
Wherever they're needed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You could totally move them. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah. They're for feeling.
Let me tell you.
Feeling and expressing and it's cute when you're a little dog. You let them. They come down like this. Yep. When I want something.
Even though you're 7 feet tall.
I'm so small. Just a
Flute,
little
are you able
bit.
to move your? Are you able to move your hair as well?
I can sort of
Similar
move my
fashion?
eyebrows a little bit. Watch. He tries to. The
Oh,
moon
yeah.
boy tries to do that thing that like your uncle does.
Oh, very good.
What are-
Right?
Very good.
Oh,
Right?
those
Oh.
are eyebrows.
Right. Do you want? I could find you a pair of eyebrows.
Oh.
I'll click. I'm gonna find you a pair of eyebrows.
Oh.
Or build you some.
He's so kind.
Right,
Oh.
and right as you say this, like, you know, you kind of make that declaration, and Klik is both, I mean, like, you're kind of like, it seems nice, but also maybe a little grotesque.
I don't understand the use of eyebrows.
Sometimes you find eyebrows. They're like small antennae, small sub antennae for microaggressions.
I prefer aggression.
You'll see. I'll find some for you. I'll find some loose. You find lots of eyebrows floating through wild space all
It's
the
like
time.
a passive-aggressive antennae.
Yes, it's like
Essentially,
a
is what
small.
you're telling me.
Yes. It also amplifies winking.
Easily
at-
the most passive-aggressive body part. Absolutely.
As you all are, like, having this discussion about, you know, just kind of, like, lounging around, having this discussion about what eyebrows are for, you feel what is not a jarring jolt because it's, you know, you all aren't thrown about the ship or anything, but you can feel the ship kind of click out of this warp state.
What?
And, you know, everything's streaming around you, then all of a sudden it's just kind of like, and like standing still. And that is
The ball-
usually a sign of, you know, there's something that is, because your ship gets pulled out of this because of the gravitational pull of other things. So it's basically encountering something else.
The ball
and
of sandwiches. The moon boy loses his grasp on the ball of sandwiches, and it goes rolling across the deck. No.
Yeah, it just kind of
Orbit the
splats.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I shift with the movement of the ship and go to the crow's nest. I take 2 bounds and shuffle up to the crow's nest.
Do you
to
have a
see
climb
what
speed?
we've hit? I
You
can,
can
jump.
jump like 15 feet.
I can
Oh, you
jump.
got like crazy Tohr-Kreen jumps.
Yeah, like a mantis. Boing boing.
Nice.
yeah, so you just very, you know,
It's
almost effortlessly just up, and it's you all have seen her do this many times, and it's still kind of like surprising because she
Kind of
just
scary,
almost,
yeah.
flies
Yeah.
as she jumps up to the crossbar and then goes up, jump right up into the crow's nest where Cobble is, and she's like, "Oh God, I still am not used to you doing that." And you
I
all-
forgot you were up here.
I forgot you could do that. And you all, you know, you sometimes when it gets pulled out of this space, it's just you know, a single asteroid or like debris floating everywhere. You've recently cleared off some space caterpillars last time this happened. There were easy bugs to squash, but
Hey. Sorry.
That's hurtful.
Oh, is that your auntie?
Was
just
that your
easy
auntie? I had
bugs to
that-
squash. Just easy ones.
that same thought. Was that your auntie?
Just
I was really like confused. I'm like, what happened? And then now,
It's worms. It's an invertebrate. It doesn't matter.
did a
Completely
little- you did a
different.
little-
Whoa.
Completely different kingdom.
so
That might
you
not be
all-
true. Call me out, chat.
K.A.I, Flute, and Moonboy, you all don't see anything. There's just kind of open, empty space.
Ah.
And you all do know this is kind of like a battle station situation, just because you all want to be prepared for anything.
Sure.
As, you know, Relic is just like, positions up from the front and like swirls his crossbow around.
Oh, no.
And both, you see Goat kind of with a barrel just in one arm too. She winks at Flute, and she heads down below deck as she's, you know, this is a common thing for her. She just is like, if there's any sense of danger, she's getting out of the way. And up to you, Klik. Cobble goes, yeah, I think that's what did it. And I'm going to have you roll our first roll of the game. I'm going to have you roll
Hey.
Woo!
a perception check, and you can do it with advantage because Cobble's helping you as she gestures and climbs down the...
While she's looking around, Flute will kind of reach into his knapsack that he has. He's going to pull out this black wig that's already tied in a ponytail and kind of jam his hair up into it and kind of like...
Battle stations.
Yeah. And kind of take his scimitar out of its like sheath and kind of examine it as if there could be something loose on it or something.
I have a 21.
Metal wigs, everyone.
Oh, shit. You got a 21?
I got a 21.
Cool.
Nice.
What did you roll?
An 18, and my perception is +3.
Great. I just wanted to know what the first roll of the game was. That's all. I was just being
Yeah.
Seems
It's a
pretty good.
hey, it's a great one.
That's a good one.
It was 18.
Really damn good.
It's a good omen. Cool. So, yeah, you see just a single huge thing floating in space here, which is a functionally an island, and it's clearly like a large rock of some sort, probably some sort of meteorite that is a big long flat surface, and it is the size of a small island. It's huge. It's probably about 90 miles diameter, about in some places, and it clearly has its own orbit. It has things orbiting it, but the orbit seems to be very kind of like close to it, and with that high of a check, you the ship kind of like goes into what it's a very normal kind of approach situation for you all, where you're kind of getting closer to it. If there's any signs of danger, Relic will, or anyone kind of who sees danger will signal to Goliathan, who's steering the ship. And as you kind of like you're way up high in this crow's nest, you pull closer to it. You can see that there is one large mountain that has a nice little weather system that seems to have formed around it, and most of the greenery on this this like space island of a sort is based around this island. And there's kind of it's mostly desert, though there does seem to be a large portion, like a ginormous lake, huge lake that is formed with runoff from this mountain. Okay. And so that is what you see as you approach. And I will continue with that high of a check. I will continue to kind of like have you notice things as you all are approaching. Yeah.
It's some kind of giant space island. There's a mountain and desert. Like a little diorama floating toward us.
Is there a Zaxby's?
I do not see any recognizable chain restaurants.
Zaxby's.
Moonboy often just says things that are nearing the...
Damn it! Ever a
The
Zaxby's.
anachronizer.
And this is probably both exciting and nerve-wracking.
Sounds like a ray. Sounds like a secret ray. Arm the anachronizer. Go ahead.
And the ship kind of pulls toward the island, and as you get closer to it, you're kind of like pulling down, just kind of staying out of its orbit, out of its atmosphere, and you can see it's mostly cliffs against the water, but you do see one kind of like big long beach of sorts. And as you are observing, you have like up atop the crow's nest is a magical telescope that like lets you see farther, because of course,
Sweet.
How can you not on a ship like this? And you see along the beach, written out in debris, are the words "help" along the beach, and various like pieces of driftwood and rocks. And,
Either someone down on that beach requires our help, or is some kind of avant-garde artist. Unclear.
I would like to give me a second here. Let me ask my friend. The stars. I'm going to the Moonboy wears like a little kind of a wizard's robe and a blue conical hat with stars and moons on it. and he takes it off, and he kind of flaps it out, and he peers into the hat, and you hear him kind of. It kind of sounds like he's speaking a different language in there, and you maybe hear something speaking back, and you maybe see some light in there. And I would like to cast Augury.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you have to make a roll for that, correct?
I do not.
Ooh,
Let me-
look at that.
I don't think your hat is comical. I think it's very handsome.
You think you hear? Thank you, Kai, from within. So
You can hear outside the hat.
by casting, by casting, yeah, it's a very high tech hat. It has noise canceling. It's got Bluetooth. I got Netflix in the hat.
Sounded like you said voice canceling. I would take those. Canceling headphones? God.
By casting gem inlaid sticks, rolling dragon bones, or if you're the Moonboy looking into your cool hat, you can receive an omen from an otherworldly entity, aka the DM, about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses from the following omens: wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and woe for both good and bad results. I would like to know if, specifically I'm consulting the stars to know if if trying to rescue this person, following this rescue sign will lead to good or bad.
Man, I just realized you're going to do this a lot, so I'm going to have to answer this a lot. And I've already
The
started
old
overthinking
wheel and
it.
woe.
Buckle up.
I was like, well, what? I literally thought, well, what is good? And I was like, nope, get out of there, Harvey.
No,
Yeah,
walk it back. Walk it back.
he's a bit of a cosmic lie detector.
If they do kill that adult dragon, they could get something good out of it.
True.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I should have... will you ask me your question one more time?
My question is, will so the specifics of the spell are you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action. That course of action being landing on this beach, exploring this rescue situation. The DM chooses from the following possible omens: wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and woe for both bad and good.
Okay, I feel, even after that monologue, I feel very confident in saying both good and bad results. And,
Wheel and woe.
and
Okay,
Woe
so
and wheel.
so after consulting with that whatever's in the hat, you hear the Moonboy kind of start shouting a little bit, and it sounds like he's maybe shouting with himself, and he's like kind of arguing, and then he comes out and he's like, "Fine, find it." And he goes, "Well, it's going to be pretty dangerous, but I mean, there could be some good stuff down there."
I don't think the captain would want us to deviate. I think let's just pretend like this isn't even happening.
The island says help. I mean,
It's
Help.
not
It could
the
have said something
island.
else, and
Not
some of
the
the
island.
letters got worn away. Have you
no,
thought
the
about that?
island said it.
It's not
It
the
says it on
island
the
that
island.
wants help. It's the logs. The logs themselves need our help. The
I'm-
logs that spell help.
But Flute, you love debris.
You're always moving
I-
barrels.
Harmless debris, but let's just keep going. Let's not even bother the captain. We'll just keep going.
But
You do...
why would this place pull us out of travel speed? What's it called? I don't know.
You feel like a kind of like clunk on the ship, which you would recognize as the captain disengaging from controlling it. And
Captain says.
there's there's a door that that
I'll
opens,
just sort of wilt.
Captain says clunk. Let's
Ask
go.
the captain.
and this very grizzled old dwarf with like a big black, like smally braided beard, and who wears a cowboy hat, walks out and goes,
What?
I didn't know.
"What are you?"
I didn't know
There's a cowboy hat.
that rules.
Sorry, you have to give us a second to absorb.
Yeah.
Colin.
There's gonna be further.
We didn't know there was going to be a cowboy hat.
If there's gonna be further rugged, handsome dwarves with cowboy hats, you're gonna have to let us know beforehand so we can get ready with the fan art.
If he talks the way
Of
I
all
think
the
he talks,
reveals
I'm going
and
to
the
get excited.
hashtags.
Oh my god.
I've been working so hard to kind of like impress you all with like different things I'm throwing at you, and it's the cowboy
No,
hat.
just
that
a hat.
does it. I love it.
Wow, cool hat, man.
Yeah, the sailing boat in space is like, man, that's cool. Cowboy hat on a dwarf.
Whoa, cowboy hat.
Little
Hold
hat?
the phone.
Oh my god!
Is it a big hat? How big is the hat?
Are they
Like a
rhinestones?
woven straw hat, or
How many
like a
rhinestones?
rich cowboy felt hat.
The mod is trying to ban me from pulling this hat out. Just so you know.
Oh no.
No, it is a like thick leather hat.
Oh, a leather cowboy hat. He's
Yes.
a meth dealer. Okay.
Harlan?
For stomping snakes.
Does he always wear this hat, or are we seeing it for the
Yeah.
first time? Is he like trying out the hat
Is
right
this
now?
a big moment? Is this
Does
a
he
big?
like look like
is
he's
this
nervous
a
about how
sign-
we're going to react to
Is this
this new
a
hat?
Seinfeldian plot device?
Does he have? Is his black beard in its usual braids with the cowboy hat?
Yes, this is all
Okay.
very. He
Oh,
really only has
cool.
one outfit. That he
All
kinda
right,
just,
cool,
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
a D&D
then we're
game is
totally
derailed by
we all
a hat.
chill
love
about
it. We
that.
all love it.
We all know the hat.
Cool.
Okay.
I think I say something. I think I say, Goliath looking good as always, my man.
He
I
kind
asked the stars.
he kind of chuckles as I mean, Moonboy's the only person on the ship who wasn't hired to be here.
That's true. They
I
found
don't know if you want to talk about that real quick, Jordan.
No,
but-
they found me in the junk. Well, there was some junk, and then there was also me, the Moonboy, the funkiest bunch of junk you'll ever come across in space. And they dragged me out, and they brought me back to life. And I don't remember the before times, but I like living on a pirate ship in space.
Yeah, so right around the first trek of when K.A.I and Klik and Flute who were all hired up along this ship 2 treks ago, they were just kind of like just leaving their location, and they found Moonboy floating in a bubble in space, and he's been with them ever since. And which is uncommon because Goliathan is not a free rides guy. He's not somebody who's gonna put anything at risk for someone else, really. It's got to be an agreement, but he clearly has a soft spot for Moonboy.
Totally.
And so he's like, thanks, Moonboy. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And he comes out and he's like, so what do y'all think? We going down or not?
Well, I asked the stars.
I think
and
it's a
the
trap.
hat.
I think it's a trap.
It's definitely a trap.
You always think it's a trap.
But here's the thing: we're pretty good at traps. So
Well, you all see the ship or no? Did you guys see the salvage, the wreckage?
no.
And you guys, you don't have any moment of that. You did not see it, but Klik, you're like, what? How did
how did I
he
miss
see it? And I didn't. And there's often kind of like weird moments like this too, where he just seems to see what's going on in the ship that you all don't. And but when you kind of like go, he's like, come here, and he like pulls over to the side, and you can see too, he's kind of positioned the ship in a different spot where you can see tucked a bit back from this beach in what is a clearing, because it's clear in the clearing that a ship has broken down a bunch of trees as it's crashed here.
Okay.
And you can see the outline of some masts poking up and above it.
Maybe they just landed and they wanted to take down some trees.
Flute, you do have a good point there. It is true that
Yes,
maybe
maybe
it's not a
the
problem.
Well, it's not very common that ships crash, right?
No.
Usually they're just taken out of orbit. So do we know what would cause a ship to crash?
Yeah, why don't you roll let's say you roll a history check to see what your,
Well,
what your.
I know history, so if I know one thing, it's green. Actually, that's pretty good.
Oh no! Someone said space cowboy. Oh,
Klik
It's an
digs
18.
deep
I
and remembers that one time finding a pamphlet about this very thing at an
did a lot of
interstellar
research.
bus station and reading it because she was waiting for the bus.
I imagine this is like a situation where when you first got your device that lets you translate, that lets you speak in other languages besides Kreen, like
Sure.
there's probably a chatty period for you, where you're like
Yeah.
asking a lot of questions on a ship.
We're not out of the chatty period.
Yeah.
We're present in the chatty period.
So yeah, and you often have a lot of time to kill on a ship. So this is just kind of a fun fact that you absorb when you're like, and which is that ships usually go down because they lose connection to their helm while they are still inside the atmosphere of a planet, because all the the spell jamming ships have a helm attached to them, which is huge. It's like usually a huge chair, but there are a lot of different ways of them being.
Oh, and that's where you spell jam. That's where you play the
Yeah.
guitar or whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
And you channel spells into the helm. The helm is like the spell engine.
I'm
Correct.
picturing it like one
That
of
rocks.
those instruments that's like the woo woo woo.
Like a theremin.
like a theremin.
Sure.
Maybe that I didn't know what to picture.
You know what I mean? The woo woo woo.
I'm kind
Come on.
of
Leather cowboy
A
hat
guitar.
playing the
Woo
theremin.
woo.
I'm kind of just imagining a guy shouting into a big fan.
Yeah,
We don't know what's in there. So
It's something in between there, definitely. So yeah,
I'm a
And-
big fan. You can shout into me anytime.
Damn it.
it just for those folks at home, this is a not a typical thing, and this is a thing that is specific to Spelljammer, what we're playing.
Yeah.
And so,
So don't try this at home. Okay?
Flip her ship and try to
Very
leave the atmosphere.
Spell jam.
You'll be in hot water.
Unless you're a dwarf with a leather cowboy hat, don't you try to play the theremin in your house.
My sister-in-law tried to make spell jam by herself. Blew
Oh,
herself through a black hole. It's terrifying.
a flavor.
so that like that is usually what brings down a ship, is it either taking enough damage where this is somehow disconnected, or the person spell jamming is killed, or it takes a bit of a destructive act to bring down.
Sure.
Yeah.
okay, so dangerous.
Yeah. There's ill afoot. I mean, I told everybody. I talked to the hat. What's the problem?
And Goliathan is like, okay, well, this is a 50-50 for me, because, in our little bit of surveillance, I haven't seen anything. There doesn't seem to be any strict civilization here. But, who knows? It could have been a ship. He's kind of like thinking out loud too. He sits down on a barrel that Flute had very conveniently moved over to the table. He just sits down on it and is like,
And I'll kind of gesture at everyone like, see who's helping out?
See?
sorry, someone in the chat, the Armada is encouraging everyone who plays D&D to tell their DM that they want a spaceship now, and it was.
Yeah, think of all these campaigns. Why are we stuck on this planet? To have a ship in space.
Those
Have you
idiots
heard
from-
of spaceships?
It's better than heroes. Idiots are tooling around in space.
We're all new to this too. We're in for the treat ourselves.
So he's like, this is kind of a 50-50 call for me, because, that ship, it doesn't look too old. It's fallen down there, so could be a good score, but y'all are the ones getting off the ship, so I leave it up to you. He's like, don't worry, I got no problem. If we gotta fly on, we gotta fly on.
That's what I like about you. You have a very unconventional management style. Really appreciate that. What should we do?
Should we let's stick it?
I say we go down there.
Let's
Yeah.
do
Have an
let's
adventure.
do- I'm too for go down.
Right?
All right.
Flute's the only one that doesn't want to go down, which
I
we're
just
used to.
feel like-
So let's go.
I like to
No,
imagine when I
I'm
decide.
fine with going down. I'm fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll kind of like straighten out my wig. I'll be like,
But
Are
they'll be sorry that they tangled with the Windrider. I'll
Whoa,
tell you
who's
what.
that? Wow, Windrider's here. What happened to the other guy? I think the Moonboy totally doesn't know that they're two different people.
it fools him. It fools him
Oh
every
my
time.
God, Windrider.
You're
I
definitely perpetuating
I love
the
your
sickness.
stuff. Big
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
I'll sort of like take some
I love your
practice brandishes with
Well.
my scimitar and almost cut the tip off of your hat on
Incredible.
accident.
We've got the Windrider with us. What could go wrong? No?
Yeah. So
I've
Goliath's like,
I've got a parchment of you on my wall in my bunk.
Put it there.
Whoa.
Putting them everywhere.
It's cool.
I
God,
can't take them
I
down
love.
fast
Can we
enough.
please make Moonboy a fan of Windrider? Like, just
Constantly
I'm a
like,
fan.
who do you think would win in a fight between Windrider and Driz Do-Erdin?
Oh, start a podcast about that.
Yeah, so unhealthy. So unhealthy. You're just feeding logs into the fire of this
Oh yeah.
Sick, sick
illness.
boy.
Yeah.
He's sick.
yeah. Everyone's like, don't. Yeah.
You're gonna get him killed.
What?
You're gonna get him killed.
Windrider.
Like, yeah, Relic like yells from the Relic hears this and he yells from the front. He's like, you know they're the same person, right? And it just like still doesn't register. You're like, what? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Woo!
I can enjoy this.
Cool. So the thing you, Goliathan, before he goes back to the helm of the ship, he goes, "We all know the rules. If there's any sign of anything that's gonna be a serious problem, I don't want you to be heroes. I want you to get out of there. All right? It's the best payment you can get at the end of this trip is your life. So be smart, because I don't want to ever have to choose between saving this ship and saving you. So
Thank you, Dad.
Don't worry, boss. We're not heroes.
I mean, Goliathan,
good.
Father.
They're better than heroes.
Oh no!
I
I didn't even do that on
He
purpose.
said it. He said it.
Been waiting. He's been
Oh, no.
waiting an hour.
He's growing with power. Oh
Super Saiyan.
Cool. So he goes back over and he'll let you.
It's growing.
He's gonna take the helm back, and he has to land the ship in water because it
Oh.
is a sailing ship. Even though
That's
it's
great. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That rocks.
So he's going
You
to.
didn't know it was a sailing ship?
I knew it was a sailing ship.
Okay.
I assumed it would like just kind of float next to whatever, but I like that you have to. It's like a seaplane.
Yeah, because a lot of the ships
Or
are.
a boat.
A lot of the human-made ships are repurposed actual sailing ships.
Just a regular boat.
Yeah, it is. It truly is.
Yeah.
Cool. So you all are going to go head down and land in the water. And with that,
Yes.
y'all, just so we haven't really talked about this to the folks watching, we're going to take like a 2-minute break, just the quickest. We're going to refill our water and pee and be right back.
I'm gonna refill my
please
pee.
stick around and hang out with us. As we're gonna go, all of our sessions are gonna go for 2 hours. So we're gonna have another hour. They're probably gonna find a thing to fight. Who knows? We'll find out. So stick around, but hang out with us for just like 2 minutes, and we'll be right back to you.
Yeah.
All right. See you soon.
Hey.
Only
Are we off?
Are
stream?
we
It's going
out?
so great.
How fun.
We're kind of holding steady at around 50 viewers, which is great.
Yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Aaron, are you gonna smoke weed?
Oh, I guess I should.
I better.
Right.
Well, the funny will run out.
Honestly, I kind of wish
Actually
that
smoking.
All right, we're back. Our mics are all on. Just so
Wow,
everyone
I feel
knows.
great.
After our on-purpose microphone chit-chat.
It was a test. Anyone who
Harlan, we are a
responded
touch
positively,
askew. There we go.
cops are on their way.
Yes,
Hang
and
on,
also just to
someone's
see
knocking on my
how
door.
to see which of our friends were actually watching too. You know,
So
like
thank
just-
you,
yeah.
thank you, those of you who texted
Yeah,
me.
big time.
Hey, you idiots are still on.
Also,
Classic bit. Classic.
just thank you everybody for watching. Like
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
who's still
Oh my
here.
gosh.
This
Yeah.
rocks. You guys
You're the
killed it.
best.
We've just been so excited to do this, and this is so great to have you all.
Literally
Yeah.
vibrating with gaming energies for 2
Whoa.
weeks.
And we're going to be doing this for every Monday for literally ever. We're not going to stop anymore. So come hang out with us. Tell your friends about it. We just posted the Patreon again. If anyone wants to join in there, and if you don't want to do that right now, it's a huge help to just follow us on Twitch. There's so many of you all who already are. It's been super cool. Follow us on socials and just like tell a buddy about the show. Like you've got friends who play D&D probably.
You do. They're hiding it from you.
Yeah, you can't do it alone. They don't let you.
And you should, that one dude, that one person who like knows more about D&D than you should go and be like, well, I watch a Spelljammer show because Spelljammer's cool, and you
And
should
it is cool. It's the hippest one.
rub it in their
You
face.
should talk to that guy. He's having a hard time. You should really reach out to him. The guy who
And yeah,
knows
talking
way
to him
more
about anything
D&D
doesn't have to
than
be
you.
the show, but
Yeah.
Just maybe.
I was
you know,
encouraging Chad to like
text.
smart me with that person, but whatever you gotta do. Okay,
I like
cool.
that Rachel has an extra large mug and Aaron has an extra small mug. It looks like you two should exchange
These are my
mugs.
teeny hands. Make the mug look huge.
Okay, cool. If you all could
Look how proper you are.
go ahead and open the combat map, that would be.
Oh boy.
What?
Oh, what now?
Combat
not
map.
A
because
fight
combat's-
cometh.
Not because combat's happening right now, just because you all are going to.
Yeah.
There is a map for
Cool.
this.
There's our
section.
ship.
Look how cute
Oh
it is.
boy.
Okay, hold on, chat can't see it yet.
Aw.
Is
There
this a
we go.
neutral party? Is this a
Oh,
neutral
sweet.
party map?
It is, yeah. Shout
Can
out
I
to
give
you
them
for
a
that.
free plug because they rule?
Absolutely.
Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah, we're going to we're gonna post
Look at
we're gonna
us.
post all the folks whose tokens we've used or maps we've used on socials, following it up in case any of you all want to steal any
Awesome.
of this. But this map, well, chat can see something else. This ship right here is the ship that Jordan drew, which is the ship that they will be spending a lot of time on. So it's very
It's
cool.
the dinger.
Jordan did all of our art.
Artist in residence.
Thank-
Oh.
The dinger.
I'm also going to that is not even from this game. What's going on? Why is that creature there? Everyone look away.
Spoiler alert.
that way.
Jeez.
The music playing was custom made for us by Culture Vacuum, who we're going to.
Oh, sweet.
He got the Bandcamp up with the
Amazing.
music that we've been using too, so you all can snag that if you want to use it as well. But just know that all the ambiance you're hearing is custom made for this game, which is super cool. I think I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we're so excited to work with various artists.
Yeah.
They've done everything.
Oh
Various
my
Yeah,
gosh,
artists.
featured on so
And
many
every
casts.
Huge
they're
fan.
in everything.
Art,
Massive catalog.
music, video,
But
doing everything.
thanks to
Cool.
our sponsor, Big Top,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big
we're
top.
able to work with artists and pay them
Yeah.
for their arts. that we
Big
can use
top
it, like,
producers.
so that we can use it to pretend to be robots on the internet.
Big Top Productions, and of course their slogan, "Bont dun 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 dun."
All right, let's jump
So here
back.
we are at the beach.
Yeah, let's jump back
I
into
don't see.
some D&D here. I'm going to throw it in the other mode real quick so I can make sure and
At
get
the
your,
beach.
Okay.
your
In space,
tokens,
man. In space.
Up and about. But yeah, so you all come down into a very easy landing for you all as you've done this. It's a routine thing, but you break through the atmosphere and you can kind of like feel the gravity change a little bit as instead of the gravitation, your ship always has a bubble around it that is kind of keeping this pocket of air. And as you form with the atmosphere, the bubble disperses and you're just inside of this planet's atmosphere. And it's not a problem for you all to breathe, and you can just like immediately tell like, okay, cool, we're good here. And you go down and land in the water that is surrounding this small island that is just an asteroid floating in space. And you land down in the water and are able to pull up and kind of anchor your ship off a bit.
Sorry.
And yeah, how do you give me a little bit of flavor on what it's like for you all to, because Relic stays here with the crossbow, kind of like to defend the ship. Goliathan obviously is staying with it so it can escape if it needs to. Cobble and Goat, they just have no interest in putting themselves in any danger. And so what is it like for you all to kind of like prepare this trek?
K.A.I is he's an armorer artificer. That is his speciality, is his own body, basically. And as he prepares to disembark, he activates his armor, and upon his body, the surface of it moves and sort of undulates, and armored plates begin to flip and form a form-fitting suit of armor around his body.
Sick. Okay, cool. So you just like change shapes almost totally. They're not
Buff
shapes,
up,
but
you bulk up.
you just like move
Right.
around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The armor sort of unfolds itself from within my body.
The Moonboy has a scimitar, a silver scimitar etched with certain moon symbols and things. He has a shield with him, though I think it's more kind of in the way that some people use magic as a shield, you know. Yeah, he honestly, I think he's pretty self-contained. I think he stuffs a couple of sandwiches into pockets in his cloaks, and he's just like, okay, let's jam.
Hell yeah. Let's jam. Cool.
Was that a sandwich pun? Did you just sneak a sandwich pun?
I've been working on it this whole time, man.
Disgusting.
You're the
Disgusting.
one who's been stealing
No.
my marmalade,
Windrider, I'm a
you
hero.
little sweet thief.
Of course,
I think
I know what you do.
I do it in the night. I'm a jam thief. Guilty.
Flute is kind of nervously pacing. He's like kind of humming, kind of under his breath as a trained bard. A lot of his magic he expresses in like musical bits, so he's kind of like nervously kind of humming. But as he's adopted his Windrider persona, he's like interrupts his humming intermittently with just like cursing and just like threats to no one, like,
Well, you've met the Windrider, haven't you now?
sort of like muttering and
So
kind of at the
cool.
back of the line.
Klik is a trained warrior, so she's used to getting ready for this kind of pressure. She straps she's a light crossbow to her hip and a long bow over her back, and she carries her gitcoat, which is it's the 8-foot polearm with a giant moon on one end and a big spike on the other hand. So it's a two-headed, double-ended blade. But I think mostly she keeps to herself and sort of gets in the fighting zone.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. No problem. So, and what do you all? What are your? As you all kind of like, you disembark from the ship, you're kind of able to throw a plank down into the water and just walk over into this shore-like area. As you head out into it, it's you're a little bit used to things that are this alien in the sense that like, okay, it's kind of somewhere between foresty and jungle. Like the vegetation is just like a little foreign to you all, but you're still like, okay, cool, this is like recognizable enough as just like something that has populated itself for whatever reason. Who's like, I imagine, tell me like who is the leader a little bit of like, what do you all do as you're kind of gonna dip down into the forest and be looking out for yourselves, but also pushing on through to find this wreckage?
I mean, I want to see what that Windrider's going to do out there. I think he's going
I
The Windrider,
jokingly,
Klik
I
has
just-
like an extended shadow because the Windrider is back in it.
I was gonna say, I jokingly offer the lead to Windrider, and
Oh
then,
yes,
and then
that's
step
a
to the
wonderful
front.
idea.
Moonboy's lapping it up.
Windrider, would you like to take the lead on
He's
this
like-
expedition?
Very stricken. He's like,
Do it.
No, I
Go on.
couldn't. You've got the height advantage. You could see
That's
over
what
the
it is, yeah.
tall
I would hate to
grass.
block
But
your view from
Windrider,
behind
you're,
you.
but Windrider, you're Australian, man. That's like +6 AC right there.
I think
I
that's
wish.
canon. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Windrider.
Australian
is
toughness.
Australian.
Yeah.
+6 AC
Yeah.
on melee combat, and then you get like a +1 to like attacks with beer bottles and shit.
Yeah, but only if I've like chugged at Foster's first.
Yeah.
+6 Aussie.
Okay, cool. So, Klik, why don't you
Lead.
roll? You can either roll a perception check, a nature check, or anything else that you could like argue is like you working on safely moving through these woods. And
Can I help her?
Yeah,
Looking around as
the
well.
Moonboy would like to make a perception.
Yeah.
I will make a perception check as well.
Cool. So usually what I do for these type of checks is either two people can do a check, or one person can help another person, and they get advantage on it.
Okay, I'll just give advantage to Klik.
Okay, cool. So roll
Okay.
twice and take the higher one.
10.
10. All right, cool. As you, you know.
Thanks for the help, boys.
I accidentally
should've
like
given you
healed you. I
guidance.
like stepped on your heel. Like,
Yeah.
as you were going,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, sorry about that.
Smack you with the side of a kick.
I haven't. I forgot that I have this spell, but can I give her guidance, or should I? Do I have? to
Oh
wait
shoot,
till-
I have guidance too.
Yeah, next time.
We gotta
I had
remember that.
guidance.
I
Now I
have so
remember.
much guidance.
Yeah,
I've
so
been rolling so well.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Dog shit.
But we can't trust those. We can't trust those naked dice. You know.
So the, you know, as you're moving through these woods, you have the crew to kind of be responsible for. Like Moonboy is not the most like in rank and file with you all. In fact, I think we established this, Jordan, didn't we? That like you're not obligated to go with them. You just do every time when they go.
Oh
through the
yeah,
stuff.
I just love a party. Let's jam. As I said once before, time to jam.
And so
like
and
That's
like
the fun he
Face
comes
it.
with.
yeah, Flute's kind
But
of
I
being
like it.
afraid too. Like, so you're having a little bit of trouble focusing on this moment.
Yeah, he also is. I think not specifically worried about danger at this point. Though I guess we know there is some.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know specifically what type of danger there is. Like as
Sure.
like Goliathan suggested, like this could have been a ship that got in a fight with another ship, and that ship is gone. Like
Fair.
you don't really have any idea of exactly.
Correct.
When you talk into your hat, does it tell you if there's like danger down there, or just like good or bad things will happen?
The hat works in mysterious ways.
Serious ways. Never
Yes.
trust the naked dice.
It's true. Never trust
never
the
trust
naked
any-
dice.
I never trust anything naked. They could
That's-
still be hiding something.
I don't
Flute,
understand the
good
concept
rule
of
of
naked.
Flute is going to kind of
I guess that kind of means dead for you.
Yeah, what?
Flute is going to like nervously hum a kind of like major key like snippet of of song, like, and give bardic inspiration to Klik, who gets 1d6 she can cash in anytime in the next 10 minutes.
Get it.
On an ability, attack, or save.
Get it.
Cool.
There it
Flute,
is.
you have such a knack for music. You should sing more often. I wish you would. I wish you weren't so embarrassed about
Yes,
it.
sing out loud a little bit. Let everyone hear.
It's
All
good.
51
You're
of
good.
us.
Really.
The only singing's going to be this sword in the air.
Like,
Hey,
That's the
Windrider,
sort of-
you're an
Yes.
excellent singer.
childishly kind of swing my scimitar
You know,
around.
You know, Windrider doesn't
Sorry,
have to
Windrider.
sing. He songs are sung about him.
It's
Oh, that's
right.
That's good.
So
Is
as you
he
all-
the one singing them?
Yes. Mothers, don't let your babies grow up to Windrider. Remember? Yes.
So
Maybe you could write the songs and he could.
I heard that one. I heard it. I heard him singing it, but
Oh, okay. That's a
um,
good way to write songs.
as you all are kind of like doing some of this chit chat moving through, and like click your mind, maybe like kind of like quiet, try to quiet them the whole part of the time too, and it's just like
Yeah.
hard to keep them from chit chatting. You
Boy,
We're all
it sure
so
is, isn't
jovial.
it?
These little French hands. Just click, click, click,
Yeah.
click, 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 click.
Okay.
it's still not too hard as you can kind of like jump up to like to a top of a tree if you'd like to get some more view. It's not hard for you to find as these two masts are sticking out.
Okay.
Exactly where this ship is. And so now we can cut over to this, our other scene here, our combat mode, if you all want to have Roll20 open here.
Oh.
And take a look at this ship that you have come upon. And feel free to move your tokens.
So this is the wrecked ship.
Yes. That is kind of, it's like clearly like has pushed down, like, it's just a wreckage.
Yeah.
And it has, the back of it is kind of blown open a bit. But it's large, it's bigger than your ship. You've come into this clearing with this thing, and you can see it. It's stunning almost, because it's a huge ship, and it is, it's not often that you see, although you come across wreckages here and there, this one is like clearly on the newer side, and which is exciting for you all, because you know that like it could mean there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Can I examine the hole in the ship and see if I can tell what caused it?
Yeah, you'll have to kind of like move over to that side if you want to.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll wait for us to get over there.
Yeah.
The hole is on the back end.
I'll go with you, man.
Did we go? Would you all like to go and investigate the hole?
Yeah.
Totally.
Each square is 5 feet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, and we're out of combat too. So like, you all can just move as you
Yeah,
wish.
you can just go.
Yeah.
So I will
it's
walk
like over here?
around. I
Yeah.
will walk around the ship. Think of the podcast. I will walk around the ship to the other side where the hole is.
Go
I don't know
full
what to do
Tolkien with
there.
it. There's the road.
I like Klik trying to walk away from Flute.
Yeah.
Dewy
Just here.
morning rain.
He's staying like too close behind. Yeah, absolutely. Great. They can't see. Hold on. Okay, now do it
Yeah, we're
again.
doing a little dance.
It's a real cute bit.
Flute is
you know,
just insisting on the grid of staying behind.
I'm just trying not to stab him with my spear.
for the folks listening.
He's doing a
on the
joke. It's a
podcast
fake
later,
play at cowardice.
They've just been moving their tokens back and forth one square for a solid.
Oh,
couple
now
minutes.
we're
It's great.
losing the stream view.
It's good. It's good video.
Oh god.
Okay, cool. So if you want to do you can do a investigation check if you would like, Kai. But if you have any argument
Yes,
for why you
please.
would do another check, you can also tell me that.
No, investigation sounds perfect. I love investigating things and discovering their secrets.
He's so cute.
Whoa! My first roll of the game was also an 18.
All right.
Yay!
Nice. So
Number
that
18.
is 18 plus 7.
When we get the better than
25.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
when we get the better than heroes letter jackets made, they'll all say 18.
18.
Want to know something
Almost.
weird? Want to hear
Almost
something
there.
weird?
Almost.
Are we
I have a
doing
giant-
the oversized
I have a
hockey
gi-
jerseys?
Yeah.
Yeah, for when you sleep over at your boyfriend's house.
Here's something weird. I have a like an oversized giant D20. You might be able to see it behind
Yeah.
the shelf because I'm a entertainer professional with my and I put it over there, and I put the 20 facing forward, and I decided to put the number facing up in 18.
Oh, boy.
Because it's a good number to roll.
That's
I did that
wild.
consciously. It's
Portent.
over there.
What
You
a
know what?
portent.
You know what? I did a little magic
Pretty good.
a couple of nights ago with my dice too. Would you like me to tell you about it now or tell you about it later?
Let's do it later. Let's
do it
make
later,
that
'cause I
bonus.
have-
Let's make
Okay.
that bonus
Say it.
content.
I'll wait until
for
I have to
people.
roll, and then I'll
if
tell
you
you.
set up for
this
the
story.
Patreon, then you could hear.
If you sub to the
exactly
Patreon,
that.
we'll
Oh.
tell you what Jordan does to his dice.
Oh,
at
wait.
night.
No, that's for the OnlyFans.
Oh boy! Hello.
Um,
Beyonce knows what that is, so everyone else is allowed to.
I'm
Okay.
twitching.
With that high of a roll, Kai, you realize this has been just what's the word like blown through. I think is the right word. That it's not like it's like something has pushed itself into the back
Okay, so
here.
that's something pierced in, nothing blew out.
Yes, and also it is like not craftily done. It just seems to be like a large boulder maybe hit it, something like that. As it just seems to be one crash into it, and it's just wrecked like the like the below deck and a bit of the cabin, and it's just kind of like crushed that area. And so yeah, that is the that's what you get out of that. And well, I guess like with that high of a roll too, there seem to be claw
Like
marks.
residues.
Yeah, there seem to be claw marks on the edge
my.
here. It is like something like a big beast of some sort did this.
Crazy.
I've investigated the wreckage and ascertained its secrets. It is broken. However, I've also discovered some claw marks here on the outside. Very strange.
What sort of claw marks?
I'm not sure. Do I have any idea what sort of claw marks they might be?
You can roll,
How many scratches? How many-
you can roll an animal check, animal handling check. No, that's not right.
Nature,
Let's do
probably.
nature. Yeah.
Nature. Okay.
Ooh, boy.
I know a little bit about nature.
I get to roll 2 now. I did not roll an 18.
I'm not joking. I just rolled another 18.
Oh hell yeah!
Those famous rigged
Alright.
dice that give you 18s. They don't tip off the DM because it's an 18. But
It's an
man,
18.
it's so useful.
Yep. I love cheating. It's the same. It's another 25.
Does-
I'll just tell this to the viewers at home. If you cheat at D&D, you go to real life hell. Okay,
Yeah.
all these rolls are legit.
Yeah,
Legit.
Yeah.
I rolled a 10. They're legit. with
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah, sometimes
Plus
you roll.
3.
Sometimes you roll a 1, and you just have to sit there.
Kai, did you get over 20?
I
Yeah.
did. I got 25 again. So,
Okay, cool. With that, you have a crazy knowledge of so many things, because you know a lot about a lot of things, right? It's a smart
He's a
construct.
mega mind.
And you kind of like put a couple pieces together in your brain with some of this, as you realize that the storm cloud is kind of like moving pretty quickly as the this atmosphere changes very fastly because it's affected by gravity very easily because it's small. And you kind of like hear a crack of thunder in the background, and you just like turn around for a second, like trying to be like, okay, I know this is big, I know. And when you turn around, you see a mound of dirt kind of about 30 feet away from you all, and you're like, oh, when you think about the claw marks, and you're kind of just like Zach Galifianakis gif, like putting things together, and you kind of move around a bit of the ship, and you see that the ship has landed on top of a large hole in the ground, and you just hear, you're like, oh, and for some reason the word shark pops into your brain, and you're like, that's not right. And you're like, oh, land shark, and then you put together that this is like you've heard of a creature that burrows and kind of like uses its huge claws to break into this, to break into big things. And you're like, okay, cool. This is a huge monster. Like, this is bad. We should go.
Cracking open spaceships like eggs? Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I get sort of a sharky vibe off of these claws. But like, sharks don't have claws, but you'd see how sharky they are. Yeah?
Yeah, in fact, you would know with that high of a roll, you would know that the name of the creature is a boulette, which is commonly referred to as a land shark.
I read about them.
That's
They're
a
like
French shark.
So
We should probably go back to the ship. We should probably go back and tell.
they're
captain.
dangerous. This is fantastic. What a discovery.
yes, don't you want to hang out and kill it?
Uh,
Windrider, you could put it on your
you know.
famous wall of treasures.
And just as
I've
you
heard
like,
that song too.
and just as you like, kind of hear,
Goes to you.
and just as you hear Goliath's voice in your head a little bit, be like,
Oh no.
okay, if there's any serious trouble, like, get out of there. You hear a voice, and I rolled for this too. I just want whether or not they're going to notice you all there. You hear a voice from inside the ship go, "Hello? Help! I'm stuck in here."
Hello?
That's probably a trap too. Let's just ignore that.
Hello?
Hello.
Are you a bulette? Are you a giant land shark? If you are, you have to tell us. Otherwise, it's entrapment.
He's like, no, he's like, I'm a member of the ship,
Moonboy
but
is
I'm stuck in here.
Moonboy's kind of he sort of pricks his ears up at this. He starts listening to his gut a little bit and feeling a little prickle in the stars, and I'd like to
Is that what you call him?
Right, man. Better believe it. The cosmos are tingling. Can I roll an insight check on this voice, perhaps, to sense a little motive?
Absolutely.
Okay, so these are my magic moon dice that I got, and this is the first time I'm revealing them since I rolled every one to its highest number, and then I left them out in the moonlight and the starlight to give them a little star bath. So hopefully they are filled. I imbued
So
them.
a raccoon has peed on these.
I was going to say, they've been subjected to the wilderness of Colorado.
It's a skunk friend,
Yeah.
and his name is Jeremy. But no, I watched them. They're skunk free. But honestly, if they had been sprayed by a skunk, I'd be like, yeah, it's got that skunk power, baby.
Yeah. Skunk is a creature of the moon.
It's creature of the moon. So here
Well, now,
comes the first
Moon
roll.
skunks.
Oh, it's a 14, which is, as we all know,
Almost
is,
an 18.
is
rounds up to an 18.
18's
Because
little
of
brother.
18. They're friends, yeah.
The poor man's
Grows up.
18, 14. So that is going to be an 18 plus 4. It's a dirty 18.
Wow, that's really okay. This is
Team
getting too much.
O's!
That's the name of this. That's the name of this episode. The Dirty 18.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. What is it
My
actually?
insight is 6. It's a dirty 20. I'm sorry.
Oh, poor you.
What a letdown.
Sorry, I'm bad at
Gross.
numbers.
Roll worse.
Number hard. But my
knew
my
this
moon
show was a
magic seems to be
mistake.
working. So my homebrew, my bathtub magic that I put together.
Yeah. It seems genuinely
Bathtub
terrified.
magic.
Genuinely terrified. Okay, so I tell my compatriots. I honestly, I think I just go, oh, we'll be right there, and I begin to run in.
So there's the ship kind of crashed in this like little gully. I think I would kind of like be looking behind
The Moonboy is,
whatever direction Klik is looking.
Sure.
is going to pop his head in the hole and look around.
Real quick.
Where is the hole?
Yeah, I can.
The hole's
hold
in
on.
the back of the
It's
ship.
in the back?
Uh,
Okay, we've got
Right? Is it
Moonboy
not?
is there we go.
Oh, no.
That's what I thought.
Yes, it is. It is in the back of the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's crashing through the side of the ship.
So
Kool-Aid Man in it.
we're all sort of assembled around the back of the ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just move this over here real quick because we got a
Ah!
map. Oh no!
Ah!
Ah!
The ship floated away, revealing a shark beneath.
It's another video.
Please don't.
Yes. Okay. Cool. So yeah, you can see that this is kind of like the this is
Below?
the interior of the ship. So as you all, this background here in the back is crushed, but it's open for you all to walk through a bit. So if you want to, if Moonboy, you are heading into it, right? Did you said that?
Yeah. Moonboy's going
He
right
is.
up, and he's gonna shout out. Actually, he's gonna be like, "Hello,
Yeah,
we're here."
and you could tell it's coming from like more toward the front of the ship, the bow.
The bow, as we've learned recently.
Ah,
We all
yes,
looked up
yes.
nautical terms.
In
All
our
right,
boat
let's
studies.
go. Yeah.
Don't brag about it.
And
We went to
then,
boat college.
It's not something to be proud of, guys.
but Flute, I would like you to also do a perception check.
Drum roll.
18.
13. Lucky 13.
Plus 5?
No, plus what I already added. 13.
Hey,
So I'm sorry. What was the final number? I got distracted by the joke.
It's
13.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you.
Russian 18.
Great. You are. You see like some birds fly off, and you're like, "Is that something?" Oh, and it's not. But like you just kind of like don't notice anything
Birds
in
that-
this moment being a
Like
problem.
stupid birds.
Yeah. So I will
Windrider.
note.
Hates nuts.
Famed fear of birds. Not afraid of anything except birds.
There is a little bit of you all like right now. You all are like a little bit going against what Goliathan has told you.
Shit, this feels
Especially with K.A.I's like
dangerous.
very exact knowledge of what the thing that is here is up to.
This seems dangerous as hell.
I mean, we can just save the guy and then leave.
I think
Okay.
we should just go back and tell the captain.
All right, let's find the guy.
Cool. So yeah, as
Come
you
here,
push your way in
guy.
there, I do want to note, Flute, you do see a couple armadillos, which this is like they're fairly common around the multiverse, but when the birds fly away, you hear another scratching in the bush, and you see a couple like armadillos just like rooting a bit at the ground, and just like eating something here and there. You just like see them as you're like worried and looking for danger.
I'll just sort of like keep my eyes like locked on them, like kind of like holding my scimitar up, like
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
just waiting.
Klik, you see them too, and you're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, like they're. It's
You
like
don't
I'm
think
not-
those? You don't think those did this whole?
I'm not worried about the armadillos.
It would take a lot of some sort of armadillo king.
Yeah.
um,
I will be looking for the armadillo mother.
You gotta
So-
kill the head armadillo.
Yeah.
I think is how you.
Then they all
keep
die.
them.
That's a known armadillo fact.
Moonboy, you can just kind of continue into the middle portion of that ship.
Yeah, I think he would be doing this rather carefully and cautiously. This is after all this feels. Is anybody gonna?
I'll go with
Would
the
anybody like to come with?
Yeah. I think we're all coming. coming
He does
with
so.
you.
I think he's calling out to it. I think he's saying this. He's like, "Well, yeah, we could help with Spelljammers, man. Guitar solo."
And you, it's very clear that the voice is coming from this room right here that I just drew an X on. And there's a door
I see
right
no
there.
X.
And there's a, you don't see it?
I see no X.
Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong layer. Look at that. Still getting used to roll 20. Here is
Hey, I see half an
Yeah,
X.
yeah,
There's an
yeah.
X.
We're moving cautiously through the ship.
Mhm, mhm.
totally. And so most of this back area is just like totally smashed in. It's like hard to tell even like what was here. But and there is the mast seems to have fallen down from the front of or from the top of the ship and gone all the way down and like leaned over and is kind of blocking a door right here that the voice is clearly coming from. It's like from behind that door and is yelling for you all. And he's like, "Hey, guys,
Smash it
Folks,
open.
help me.
Yeah.
I'm
I
in
will.
here.
I will try and break loose the boards that are blocking.
I'll
the
give
door.
her guidance on that.
You can do a strength check with guidance.
Guidance is plus a
D4.
D4.
Let's hit Kai while they're
You
doing
also
that.
have
Can you
bardic
also roll?
inspiration.
Oh, that's
No,
right. You also have bardic inspiration.
I got so much inspiration.
Kai, while that's happening, can you also roll a history check?
Yes. Would be my great pleasure.
14. You guys?
I did
I rolled
not
an
roll
18.
This is like it's like a bad bit. It's like
It's 14. It's 14 plus 4, but I roll. I add the guidance to it for sure.
Yes, you add guidance and bardic inspiration.
You can choose to cash in
No,
bardic
it's-
inspiration
I'll
or not.
I will pocket the the inspiration. 19 with the guidance.
okay.
Oh, I also got a 19.
Great. So you are able to pretty. You're a strong bug, you know.
Bless.
And you can get yourself under there, and you can't move this whole thing by yourself, but you can at least like kind of like leverage its momentum for it to roll, just like shift itself a bit, and it's kind of like, oh, there's like a moment like, oh boy, this is bad, like this is a big thing, but it just kind of moves over, and you're able to jam the door open a bit, where you just see a dirty elf, just like a grimy looking
Oh my god.
elf. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Let me clarify.
Did we clarify? Tohr-Kreen love to. They crave elf flesh.
It's fine. I can resist. He's alive.
Yeah.
Also, I'd just like to say, chat just threw out the concept that guidance is just mansplaining, magic mansplaining.
Thank you. That's
hilarious.
Yeah.
And,
just a strength help from a
also-
tiny boy.
Yes, no, put your back into. You can do it. Put your back into it. And also, Devin Davis said mantis splaining, which should at least
Right?
It's worth
Yeah.
noting.
That's very good.
So this blonde-haired, like, and even though it's very grimy and a bit like wounded, there's like some dried blood on its head. It's still it looks pretty regal. Just like long, flowing golden hair, and
It's an elf.
skin pushes itself out, and it's like very tall and stands up. And he's like, "Thank you, thank you.
Hey,
Did you all kill the creature?"
Nope.
Nope.
No.
What
Creature? Dot dot dot.
And with that too,
Gillette?
a thing you notice, Kai, when I had you roll that history check, is that this ship, it's a very. It looks again like a sailing ship, like similar to yours, it's just like bigger. But now that you've gone inside of it and just had like a second to look around, you realize that this is a almost like a poor imitation of a human-made ship, as it's clearly. You rolled like didn't you roll like super high? What'd you get?
I rolled a 19.
19. Yeah. So with a 19, you would recognize some of the craftsmanship, as you are a crafter yourself as well. That this was a ship built by elves, but it was built to look like a human ship. And so the
Maybe it was built by an ancient civilization of Moonboys.
Your ship is in unusual style.
The
Clearly of elven make, but it seems that it has been attempted to masquerade as a human vessel.
yes, I would be happy to explain this to you once we are not in threat of danger. Do you all have a way to get off the
Oh,
rock?
Yeah, we found a
oh
hole.
yes, of course, of course.
Show him the hole.
Well,
Can I do
I mean,
a
like,
quick
leave
look
this
around?
island, not just the ship.
Oh, can I do a quick look
yeah.
around for anything valuable, anything trinkety,
Yes.
anything?
Can I also do that look around?
Yes, 2 investigation or perception checks.
I'm bad at both.
I'd kind of like to at the same time move towards these back stairs. Is there a way to get up to the upper deck through here?
Yeah, it's a little difficult. You'd have to roll like a
Dex?
dex save, yeah, or a dex check. Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay.
I got a 17 on my poking around.
Very good. I got a big 8.
Great. Yeah, you just find more debris.
Neat. I love debris.
I do like debris. As Kai said, I might take a bit of this debris.
I'm an enthusiast.
And it's pretty cool.
I take like a junk buckle, like an old rusty buckle, like neat, and just pocket it.
Junk buckle.
Please write down junk buckle in your inventory.
Junk buckle?
Yeah.
I will write down junk buckle.
Yeah. And
I
so
always used to go to karaoke at the junk buckle.
Junkle? There it is.
So so you just kind of, but you find like enough stuff that it's clear that there were people living on this ship. You know, like it is the broken debris of flying home, basically. And you,
It's a trailer park.
Flute, you do find 2 +1 arrows. And looking around, they're just like very finely crafted elven arrows. And you also find a nice, a very like nice clothed bag that has powdered silver in it. But the thing that you find the most interesting as you're kind of like kicking around rooms, like like going in sword first, is you find a very ornately built harp that has one single string on it.
Oh.
And it's like seems to be fine, like in.
Is this like a handheld harp or a floor-length harp?
Something in between there. Yeah.
It's a standard
not, like
riding
you couldn't
harp.
pick it up. Yeah. You couldn't pick it up, but it's not. Like 2 of you could probably carry. Like maybe one of you could carry it if you just tied it to your back.
When I'll put the arrows in my satchel to give to Relic, and I'll take the silver dust and kind of smell it to see if it smells, and accidentally snort some up my nose.
Make a saving throw. No, I'm just kidding.
Develop a habit.
High on silver, baby. This harp, being a bard,
High on Silver by
spent
Windrider.
considerable time in college learning music, who comes from a musical family. Is this harp something I would recognize on sight?
Do a quick history check.
Silver High. Silver High. By
Can I have
Windrider.
advantage since it was like my whole childhood and
Yes,
most
sure.
of my
If
adulthood?
you're from the Jackson 5.
It's the first show. Who cares? Me deeply.
He's coming through. He's coming
Yeah,
through the
because I got
boots.
a nat 20, baby.
Harp knowing this motherfucker and all.
This
Who's
boy knows
identifying
harps.
harps now, bitch?
He knows harps. Making fun of Windrider, but he knows his harps.
Yep. Might be a bit of a coward, but I do recognize this harp.
And the best part about it is to keep up kayfabe, he has to pretend like he doesn't recognize this harp immediately.
Yeah, this
no one
old
saw
stupid
you.
thing, 1872 Wireless.
Oh, that wasn't a gasp. That was a reverse barf.
So as you, as you're kind of like kicking around other places as they've gotten this high elf, out of his trap, and you see this room or this harp, and you're like, wow, that's stupid. Like, no one could play that. That's just a single string on this harp, and you just have this like little sense memory thing with that, where you're like, oh, this is if it just plays one note, it's probably used for like tuning or something like that. It's like a tuning fork, but because it's only going to play one pitch. And then something else triggers in your like magical studies too, where there are some spells that require a very specific note to be played in order for them to be. It's like a component in a spell. And you're like, oh, I've never seen anything like this before, but that it like connects in your mind of like, oh, that makes sense why this is like a spell component, and it's huge for a spell component.
Right, Kai, you know about this sort of tinkering stuff. This harp, I think it's some sort of magic device.
Oh, interesting. Show me. Take me, please.
Can I pluck the string and just see what note it plays?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll give it a good old pluck.
It's very deep and low, and just like hums for a bit, like, for a bit, and it's kind of nice and soothing. It has like a almost meditative quality to it. And as soon as you do that,
That's a deep. I think never mind.
as soon as you do that, you hear no, and the after the note is played, you hear the elf yell, and there's just a slight rumble that you all feel.
Oh.
Nice work.
And then there's a...
Oh, that was the shark summoning.
Oh,
note.
Yeah, that was the harp
That was
of
the
shark
shark
summoning.
clap.
I feel like the note was
Fucking
worth it. It was a
shark,
soothing
shark.
note.
And there is
The harp of shark summoning.
It's a shark.
and you
Shark
feel the rumble
summoning.
like it's like gets stronger for a second and then stops, and you're like, oh, okay, and then there's just like a boom boom that is clearly something like what it's not hard to imagine is a jump, as there is no rumble and then a big rumble, and you hear outside just this like like a big like loud rumble.
So
And the elf is
You
like,
played his favorite song. Good for you.
oh no.
Oh no, you freed bird.
Can I roll to wriggle up through onto the top deck?
Yep.
Okay.
I won't make you roll for it, as I will make you roll a stealth check to go up there.
Okay. I am proficient in stealth.
Somebody said land shards.
Yep. Yeah.
Chart.
I'm going to like kind of sidle up next to K.A.I. and then sort of a whisper. I'll
I have
say,
rolled a critical fail.
tripped on the old robe.
You hit the note one more time, huh? Just banged it on the way out.
What are you saying? What are you saying to Kai?
Well,
I was just saying,
Say, Kai, if perhaps Klik could stay here and
If anybody-
keep strumming this harp, and we could sneak back to the ship. She's tough. She'd make it back, right?
You're gonna leave me all by yourself.
No,
You're
we could
so
not
brave.
possibly leave her behind.
She's fine. She's clearly the strongest among us.
Oh, sure. Even the strongest among us
I can't
require
swim.
support sometimes.
And then, as you all are discussing this, you hear a clatter as Moonboy has wriggled his way upstairs, but in doing that, the stairs kind of like break behind him
Oh.
and just like collapse. So Moonboy, you do make it up to the top deck of the ship, and you see this just like huge hulking creature whose head comes up to the side of the ship, and he has a big, long, almost sharp beak, except the beak is his whole head, and he's just standing up there, kind of like crouched over a little bit, and he has small, beady eyes that are just looking right at you, and it's just like, and he like is clearly excited that you're there, and leaps toward you, and we'll call it there for the evening.
Come
And
on!
We'll pick it up next Monday in initiative.
We're starting with a battle.
We're doing 3-hour episodes now.
We chatted too long.
We riff.
Too much riffing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Fair enough.
But that's it. That was the 2-hour session.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Harlan.
Yeah.
Yay.
Bravo, Harlan.
Yay.
I'm so happy to be here with you all. Thanks so much. We've had 50 people here with us this whole time.
Yeah.
Yay, you
All
guys
you.
are the absolute
Guys.
best.
Exciting.
You all rule.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I cannot. I'm just so full of joy and happiness, and I hope that was fun for you all. We'll be back next week. With just jumping right into the action. So.
Come back.
Yeah,
Come
thank you
away
so
with
much.
us.
I think we have a couple more things we want to just like list off real quick, but before we do that, I just want to say if you want to support us, there are a couple different ways to do it. But one of the biggest ways is just following us on our socials and telling your friends about the show. and bringing them with you next time you come watch, which is next week.
Yeah.
So we'll be here every Monday at 8 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Pacific.
And D&D just gets better the more you play it, you know?
Totally.
It's
Once
like a
it's-
good novel
yeah.
or something, you know?
Yeah, we're just
dump.
going now. We've shaken off all the new feelings. So
Yeah.
we're
The
gonna
info
Yeah.
dump.
Yeah.
cool. So what
Yeah.
announcements do we have?
Yeah, check out our Patreon if you want. If we'll have cool stuff coming on there. It's patreon.com/betterthanheroes.
Yeah, we're gonna get merch coming pretty quick.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that'd be
Off
cool.
to the races.
Yeah.
And like Harlan said, please follow us on social media. We are at BTHDND on Twitter, and we are at Better Than Heroes on Instagram. I know a lot of you were talking about my cat. Her name is Scully,
Yeah.
like X-Files, but I'm now going to be calling her Junk Buckle from now on. The only thing I will ever
Junk
call her.
Buckle.
That is
That's
my
a
little,
whole
my
phonetic
little special
ride.
junk bubble. Junk
Junk
There,
Buckle.
there are many animal friends that will make appearances.
Oh my
throughout.
god, yeah.
I'm
She's gonna poke her head in.
I'm also going to spam in the chat real quick the Bandcamp for the person who made all of our music.
Oh, hell
continue
yeah.
to make us
And thanks,
a
Case,
custom
for the video.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Tigerman Productions
And
again. made our video.
Big Top Studios for
Yeah,
produce,
again.
sponsoring the whole shebang.
Click bobble
Thank you so
antenna
much.
And
merch.
our
Yeah, with a
Sarah,
little
we have someone
bobble
helping us
antennas.
with social media. Sarah, give Sarah a shout out.
Yeah.
So many people have
Buckle
pitched in
shirts.
besides all of us. So
Big
we'll
Top.
continue to
Did we
post
say
this
Big
week.
Top?
I
Yeah,
did.
we
I said it.
Let's say it again.
We'll continue to post this week.
Yeah,
of
we're
all
so
the
lucky.
People who
We're so
helped
lucky to-
us.
Also, hey, shameless self promotion. I'm Razor Lou on Twitch. Come follow me. I'm gonna play some Destiny after this.
Yeah.
Maybe some Apex.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, keep an eye on our socials. We'll put everything
Andrew?
up there. And
you.
we wouldn't be able to have all of our cool friends help us out with all the art and stuff without our sponsor. So shout
Totally.
out to Big Top. And
Yeah.
Cat
we'll see you
rocks.
all next week.
Next Monday.
I can't wait. I
Thank
can't
you,
wait
guys.
to see.
I'm
We'll
sorry
see
for
you all-
rolling on one. I'll leave. We'll
We'll see you back here next time. All right, we're getting out of
Thanks,
here. Have a good
guys.
night.
I love you.
Yeah.